Today we're going to be walking through the Roel Langerak disc golf course in Rotterdam, located here in the Netherlands, and I'm going to be showing you how to birdie every hole there is at this course. So hole 1 is 78 meters with a double mando next to the basket, trying to hang out the sidearm over the path. Ended up hitting the right mando tree, but luckily didn't miss it. Left myself with a probably 7-meter putt here. Should be pretty routine. And then move on to hole 2. Hole 2 is a 125-meter par 3. Feels all of it, and I personally don't have the distance to go with an air shot, so I'm throwing a roller here. Started tracking towards those left 2 trees, but caught this weird wind gust that ended up rolling back behind that service box off to the right. Left myself with maybe a 20-meter putt, and I guarantee you this is the hardest birdie on the course. This took me forever to get, and ended up making even 2 putts from the same lie. Hole 3, 72 meters, really tightly wooded hole. Just trying to follow that path off, and hopefully you'll have a putt at the end. I ended up going a little bit early left, but got lucky and kicked out towards the right. Just slid down that path and left myself with this tricky little putt. Hole 4, 84 meters. We're throwing out of the woods into this open field, and I had this sneaky little headwind here that helped straighten out my wraith. Try hold that as straight as possible, really. Left myself with this 10-meter putt. And these putting greens are usually really windy, so these can get really tricky. Hole 5 is playing to the same basket as hole 4, 95 meters. You have this big hyzer that I tried playing with that right to left wind, as you can see. Left myself a little bit short. Didn't get much ground action either, and had this really tricky putt again. And it somehow went in. I guess the wind helped me there. Hole 6, 79 meters. The path on the right is OB, so I just try to hang out my Justice on a sidearm. Skip it in towards the basket. Hole 7, 71 meters. Really tricky sidearm over this water. If you hit any of those branches, you are most likely going to lose your disc. Just trying to just play it through that big gap, bailing out far right, and luckily stayed on the edge of the bushes for this putt and convert the birdie. Hole 8, 103 meters. I would say it plays a little bit longer, and I just try to play that safe hyzer out. Just make sure I get left close to the path, as you can see here, and then throw it in for the birdie, because I personally don't have the power to try to get all the way to the basket to give myself a putt. Hole 9 is 74 meters. Pretty simple hyzer. There is OB water on the right, and the path left is also OB. Now these baskets weren't put back in yet from a festival that was last weekend, so I'm just putting at this image of a basket that you can see. Hole 10 plays the same basket, 86 meters. Just throwing the EMAC truth at it. Again, the path on the right is OB and water. Left myself with what would have been like a 5-6 meter putt. Hole 11 is our first par 4, coming in at 174 meters. The path on the right is OB, so the only mistake you cannot make is going OB right. Got a little bit close, but got good distance. Throwing a sidearm flex shot, aiming for that big gap in the trees. Just trying to get as close as possible. As you can see, I left myself with another edge of circle 1 putt. Been making these all day. Move on to hole 12. Hole 12 says it's 95 meters, but plays longer than that. This one's another really tricky birdie to get on the course. Trying to throw a wraith on a flex shot here. Left myself with a pretty long putt. Call this about 20 to 25 meters, somewhere in that range. Throw a jump putt over the bushes and barely fades in. Hole 13 is 64 meters. Pretty simple, hit the gap. Do not go left, that is the only mistake you cannot make. I bail out right with my EMAC Truth, leaving myself with a pretty short putt. Nice and easy. And move on to the next hole. Hole 14, 59 meters. We have a double mando between the two trees that I just threw through there. And I had this mean little right to left wind that just hung out my drive, didn't let it get right. And that same wind kept my putt just high enough to float into the chains. Hole 15 is 94 meters, playing adjacent to the train tracks. You can throw a backhand over the right, but I felt frisky and threw that sidearm through the trees. Left myself just outside of circle 1, converting the putt. Hole 16, 69 meters, the signature hole of the course, playing underneath the train tracks. I'm throwing a berg on a sidearm here, just trying to progress as far as I can. And it felt perfect out of the hand and narrowly missing the ace, leaving myself with a tap and birdie. Hole 17, 84 meters. We have another double mando, those two big bushy trees that you can see on the whole preview. Just trying to blast the defender through the gap there. Trying to avoid all that wind. Again, just outside of circle 1. Walking away with a birdie. Hole 18 is 62 meters. Really tricky technical shot. I'm throwing my berg again on a sidearm, just trying to keep something straight. Really push as far forward as I can. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.